today we're venturing into the misty realms of situationships. And so many of you have been screaming out for this topic for so long, but I have avoided it. I think because I hate labels. However, we'll get into that because they're definitely happening. And if there's a way that I can support you to navigate them and get through them, then I want to do that. So we want to know what they are, right? What is a situationship? Maybe you've heard this term around. Maybe people have mentioned it. It is a lot on social media. And I want you to imagine that you're holding a map and you're looking for a clear path to finding a relationship. But that path that you're on keeps going around in loops and loops and loops, and you never quite get there, right? And it's also never ending. You're in this map, this maze that's going round and round with no ending. But what you really want is a relationship. And that's what the essence of a situationship is. It's more than having just friends with benefits, but it's less than having a committed relationship. And it's always kind of in this state of almost there, but not quite. So it's frustrating because people don't go into them thinking that's what I'm going to have. No one aims to have a situationship. It's just what they end up being in. And I remember the first time I heard about a client being in a situationship, and it was like she was walking a tightrope between casually dating someone and being seriously in love. And the signals from the other person were so mixed, and it was thrilling, but also super disorienting. She felt that they were close, but there was always this like barrier that kind of kept getting in the way of her and the relationship and getting in the way of the commitment. And the thing about situationships is that they're super common in the dating world, where these connections can be made, particularly in online dating, where people can get away with, like I've said before, this behavior that probably, hopefully wouldn't exist outside of it. But why do we find ourselves in these situationships? Like, is it the fear of commitment? Is it this alluring sense of freedom that could be something more? Like, let's dive into what the highs and lows are of situationships and maybe find a way to navigate them and have them, I won't say not happen because they're probably going to happen, but have them maybe end quicker if that's, or recognize when you're in them, right? So that you can end it quicker. So let's first acknowledge that this is an emotional roller coaster. Situationships are a huge emotional roller coaster. You are, in this land where there's the super highs, super lows. You're not sure if you're connected. There's a lot of questioning. There's moments of sheer joy and connection. There's days where you laugh together. You might share a secret and you feel this like closeness to the person that kind of whispers the potential that there could be something there. And then there's the moments that make you think, it's almost there. When the silence is too loud, the absence is so obvious to you, and you find yourself wondering that, what are we? Who are we as a couple? We haven't put any labels on it. Not that I like labels, but I do like boundaries. So this push and pull of emotions isn't just confusing. It is this breeding ground for self-doubt, like the limiting beliefs that come up around, am I not enough to commit to? Are we just buying time? Am I not enough, full stop? Like, do they want more? It just brings those limiting beliefs up to the surface. And yet in these moments of situationships, it's also a major opportunity for growth and self-discovery, because it teaches you what you're wanting out of a partnership and what you truly are seeking, and how you can communicate those needs, how you can set boundaries, and how you can understand that balance of holding on and letting go. And sometimes we don't get there without the lessons. So yes, it's not great to be in a situationship, but every opportunity is an opportunity for growth. So if you can view it that way, as opposed to, oh God, it keeps happening to me again. Well, what are you not learning out of the situation if that's happening? So why do we do it? Like, why do we step on this roller coaster of situationships and knowing that it's going to have heartache? And why do we stay on them, right? Even when we recognize that we're on them. And it reminds me a little bit of like people gambling that think, I'll just put a little bit more money. And maybe I'll have a win, we know it's not right for us. And quite often in these situations, we're overriding our red flags and our intuition that's saying this isn't right. Something's not okay here, but we stay. So why do we do that? Why do we stay? Well, situationships are kind of clouded in this ambiguity, and ambiguity can be mysterious. It can be exciting. It can be alluring, and it can be enough to draw you in. And So there's kind of this gravitation towards it. It doesn't necessarily give you what you want, but it also might reflect back some beliefs around your self-worth that you think that that's all that you can get. So sometimes it's got this excitingness to it, but it also has the heartache to it. But it reminds me a little bit of like when someone passes away that might not have been a very nice human. We always say, oh, that, or when a relationship ends and we say, you remember all the good things about it as opposed to the things that didn't go so well. So it doesn't mean necessarily, again, that you need to label it as a situationship, but you do need to have boundaries and you do need to know what those boundaries are for you and your expectations. Situationships give us a space, like I said before, that we can understand ourselves better. So in the situationship, and I feel like I've said this word like 1,000 times in this episode, but we have to ask ourselves, like, what am I sacrificing to get this? Like the fun, the mysterious, the ambiguity, what am I sacrificing so that I can have this? Is it the security? Is it the opportunity to build something? Is it, the commitment with someone? Is there a fear of commitment there? Yeah, so we've really got to look at why it is that we're drawn to these situationships and what it is that keeps happening with us. So how do we navigate these situations with purpose and intention? How do we go into it with some sort of idea of what we want so that we know when we're presented with these opportunities that they're either not what we want or they are what we're looking for? How do we hold a sense of ourself and our emotional well-being when the ground kind of feels so uncertain, when you don't really know what's happening? And you're going to hear me say this, as I've said it a million times before, but the first step is self-awareness. Because if you're not aware that you're in a situationship, how do you change it? If you're not aware that it's continuously happening for you, how on earth do you change that? You have to understand what's happening for you and reflect on what you truly desire by these connections. Is it adventure? Is it companionship? Is it understanding? Or maybe you want something deeper, something more enduring, more long-term. And by understanding what you want, you will then know whether this is what you want or not what you want, and you will have more clarity, which means that if you have more clarity, you can make more choices that align with what you're looking for. Then, as always, communication is key, right? Communicating your boundaries, your expectations, what you're seeking out of that relationship is really key. Having an open, honest dialogue with your partner, or might I say almost partner, can be really illuminating, because sometimes we're in these things. Maybe it's not what you both want. Maybe you're not even aware that you're in it, but no one talks about it. So share your feelings, share your desires, share your boundaries. And boundaries are so essential because they protect your heart in that and remind you of your worth. Remember, boundaries are a direct reflection of your self-worth. And in all of that heartache that comes with the situationship, with all the joys, with all the sorrow, it is about teaching us something. It's about teaching us more love, more resilience, and the art of kind of letting go. And it's okay to walk away from a path that no longer serves you. It will always be okay to trust your intuition and go for that. It's okay for you to trust yourself and your decisions and to say no to something that is not okay for you. And as always, as you go forward, do it with kindness towards yourself, kindness towards others that you share that experience with. And every situationship, every connection is an opportunity for growth.